Instagramming, we're Facebook living. We're with this guy. He's very live. He's on his own Instagram live. It's about that time, guys. We've rolled up successfully. We're chilling here, the Mary Jane HQ, repping Snoop's 12.5 million album sold. I don't know if you guys can see that, but this is an excellent plaque.
I bought 350,000 of those.
Domestically, of course. It doesn't count your international purchases.
Oh,
right?
yeah, no, all over the world. Yeah, all over the world buying every Snoop album in every form, on every format. Fuck yeah.
Snoop CD, did you ever Snoop CD?
I had Doggy Style on CD, yes.
That's pretty epic. That was probably one of your earlier CDs.
It was a very early one. And actually, you know what's funny? I grew up in Thailand, and I moved to the U.S., back to the U.S. when I was, in 1997. So actually, in Thailand, this was before the internet, we didn't get a lot of, music and stuff coming over. We got, like, Soundgarden, Nirvana, that whole contingent, but the hip-hop thing was still kind of underground. It didn't really make it over, but we got Cypress Hill's Black Sunday, The Chronic, and Doggy Style. So it was a lot of West Coast stuff, and all guys who are, like really representative of weed culture at one time or another. Obviously Snoop, you know what I mean? So it's like, I feel like even before I smoked weed, I had all this like subliminal messaging coming my way, which was not subliminal if you knew what they were talking about, but for a kid from Thailand, I was learning shit. I was like, smoking fat blunts.
Huh.
You know?
What's that? I had a Cypress Hill t-shirt in 7th grade that said "Stoned is the way of the walk" on the back of it with a weed leaf. It's the only time my parents have ever had an issue with something I was going to wear to school.
Yeah?
So I rocked the flannel over it on the way to school, and then when I got to school, I took the flannel off.
Clever, yeah.
And let it be known that stoned was the way of the walk.
Yeah, dude, that's the move. And no teachers busted you for it or anything?
I don't recall being busted. It was freewheeling. It was the 90s. We were all young, wild, and free.
Yeah. You know what? At my school, they had this bizarre rule of if you fell asleep in class, they would drug test you, right? Which was crazy because it also meant, like, if you're, like, a punk kid and you look crazy, which I was, you know what I mean?
Right.
And when I fell asleep in class, they tried to drug test me a few times. My mom, shout out to my mom. Shout out to all your moms, all right? Show respect. Because she got me out of that
mom.
shit. Yeah, respect Noah's mom. You did a good job.
She's pretty good.
He's a good guy.
I tried.
He's a decent guy. There was a little altercation in the parking lot earlier. I wasn't going to tell you about that if you don't want to know, but,
This guy's always messing with my money, Like, there's a line, and that's the line.
I'm just playing. There's no look. The fucking the alliance is strong. All right.
True that.
Don't break balls. So anyway, what do you do on this show?
We pretty much do what we're doing right now.
Oh, sick! We're doing it.
It's a widely known concept. It's called a show about nothing. So I think it was like it's pretty formulaic. It's also a hard sell. Do you want to just chill out, not have even really a camera crew, smoke some weed, and shoot the shit?
Yeah, I like it. So this is the first time I'm in the Mary Jane office.
Yeah, here you are.
And it's pretty epic, There's there's memorabilia everywhere, and there's and I was, just noticing, for example, Snoop has put out 18 albums that I've never even heard of.
It's true.
The guy's put out 100 albums, you know what I mean? I'm seeing posters around here, and I'm like, what is this one and what is this one?
He's a prolific guy, that's all I can say. We all have our little creative output, but Snoop is a force of nature, respect. Really.
And it's unexpected shit too. I remember the one time I met him was at the Vice office, very briefly, and I could have hit his blunt, I think, but I was in front of a bunch of Vice bosses, and I was sort of a junior guy then, so I didn't do it. But that was when Reincarnation was coming out, and we were kind of I was like, holy shit. This dude is legit just gonna come through and be like, I'm doing a whole reggae album. You know what I mean? Which is pretty badass. It's a bold move. How many other rappers have really done that? I can't think of one. Just going outside their format and shit. But I'm inspired by the unexpected, which is what leads me back to this mustache here.
Right. That's an unexpected mustache.
No one saw this shit coming.
Did anyone see the mustache coming? Was anyone thinking?
No.
Dulla's gonna rock a mustache eventually. You kind of look like you could be like a '70s New York cop. You know what I mean? That's kind of a good look. What is that? Maybe a Halloween costume. Have you thought about your Halloween costume yet? Because the mustache could lend itself to unexpected Halloween costumes.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Yo, you know what? That's so true. I never think about Halloween costumes. You're
in LA, man. LA is a strong Halloween city.
Is it a big Halloween city?
Think about all the people that work in costume design, etc., etc. People really take it very easy. I know you just moved to the West Coast. If you guys didn't know, this guy's a new. Welcome to LA, Abdullah.
I didn't know. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
Please, welcome. It's great to have you here, man. We need more fine minds like yourself. New Englanders.
Yeah, seriously. honorary New Englander. I did 1 year.
Born in Hanover, New Hampshire.
Born in Hanover, New Hampshire. That's true.
That's pretty serious.
Yeah, don't ever tell me that, you know, I don't live free or die, alright? Because I was born in that shit.
Live free or die is a lifestyle.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? And by the way, if you're not out here, we're living free. We're doing it.
Yeah.
Look what we're doing. We're sitting inside. We're smoking weed.
Yeah. Or die. We'll pass on the or die part, but the live free part, take it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah. Oh yeah, so...
are we going to share that? I mean, you can chill on it. I don't know whether you're supposed to. What do you think on this show? No. Should we both roll one? Or was that day class A to let you do the rolling honors?
No. We got to share because, you know, I'm getting to a place now where I'm really bad about passing joints to people because, like, there's an abundance of weed. You know, we have lots of stuff here. So, you know, I typically roll a joint, and with my housemates, you know, I'll like... pass the joint around where it's still very communal, but then there's a lot of moments out here when I smoke whole joints by myself, you know what I mean?
True.
And like, you know, my smoking consumption has changed here, so for anybody who's like followed my shit, I don't know how many of these folks have like followed my shit. How many?
On which camera? On which camera? There's so many different cameras to choose from.
Instagram Live, show of hands.
Everyone raise your hand if you've followed this guy. You followed him. You've
so if you followed me, you know I fuck with spliffs. I smoke spliffs all day. 10% tobacco, 100% tasty. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
That's my shit. But ever since coming to California, I've started smoking a lot of OG. Shout out to my boy Bert at Herbals. And, you know, from that shit, like, I kind of am off the spliffs for the first time ever. I'm not putting tobacco in my joints. This is a pure joint. I've started rolling a little differently. Instead of doing the AJ Sour Diesel long crutch, I just do a regular crutch like that. And I feel healthier. I feel better.
Well, LA, it turns you into a healthier man, right?
I think so, you know?
Morally, may be kind of a slippery slope, but health-wise, you're rocket ships.
Morally, I'm completely bankrupt at this point.
Well, you started pretty low, so the idea that you could go lower is kind of impressive. But
yeah, but it took coming to Los Angeles. And you know what it is? You could probably...
the low get lower.
Yeah. But you could probably appreciate this. You know, it's a thing of like, you know, a lot of people say like, first of all, when I was moving out here, so many people, I've been trying to move here for so long. Like, I work in television, I work with weed, and I lived in New York City. It made 0 sense, right? And yet when I was like, oh, I'm moving to Los Angeles, people were like, really? Why? And I was like, because you're a fucking moron, that's why. Like, why the hell would I be over there when this is going on over here, right? So it's like, you know, it just was such a logical move. And also people were like, oh, you're going to hate the traffic, you're going to hate this, you're going to hate that. Yo. There's one caveat to living in LA, and that's the traffic. All right, you know how many caveats there are to living in New York? 79,000.
True.
All right, you motherfuckers who are in New York know what I'm talking about. You're lying to yourself.
Weather. Like the first 78,000 are weather.
Yeah, weather and space.
Yeah, space is the other 78,000. And then like the day after it snows, you know what I mean? And it's like melting and filthy.
Yeah.
And there's those puddles. I think that's pretty high on the list for me.
The worst
things that are bad in New York is the dirty day after snow puddles that you have to walk through, and you know if your boot game's not strong, you never know, you're gonna end up just getting all shit in your shoes. It can be real nasty.
Yeah, and also speaking of shit and shoes and streets and snow, yo, pet owners in New York. Y'all know who you are. You're a bunch of irresponsible motherfuckers. There's shit everywhere, and it's one of the things that makes New York so heinous. And honestly, in that situation, I feel worse for the dogs than anybody because, you know, if you're a dog and you live in a little apartment in New York City, you're not living, like, the full potential of, like, what a dog's life should be. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a dog or a pet owner. I'm just saying.
Space is the place.
But this is controversial ground, pet ownership.
But
curb your pets, please. You know what I mean? Jeez.
I think that's well put. Should we talk about some like professional shit? Bong Appétit season 2. What's the story, buddy? Bigger and better than ever.
So we're in the midst of season 2 of Bong Appétit. It's you know, it's airing right now. I think we're on episode 4, and I think my favorite one of the season so far is the Budmash one. My homies Arjun and Knuckle, who have this Indian place in Los Angeles that's like really, really epic. But my favorite thing about it is like, you know.
Well, you did take a hit out of the puri, right?
We did.
That's like a cultural moment. Was that a headline around the world at all? Because it seems like you may have crossed a cultural threshold that has never been crossed before.
Well, you know, using a bread sort of pipe, like, okay, we've done a couple things on the show where you can actually eat the thing you smoke out of, right? Once or twice. I'm actually really fascinated by that because I think that's like, it's kind of interesting. You know, you don't like, we did a sausage that it's like, you know, literally, you'll see this later. I'm giving you a little.
So after you did the sausage, you got the mustache.
Yeah.
Got it.
But yeah, essentially, you know, having something that you can eat after you smoke out of it is kind of special. The puri itself, you can't like take like a real hit out of it, so we had to use the smoking gun, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But honestly, there's probably a way to keep the thing inflated and actually like, you know, light a hit into it.
Do you think this could be a product line, like a Bong Appétit product line, like a smoke-filled puri off, like frozen?
It would be if it wasn't just exactly a puri already, you know? Because like really,
I mean, let's think about in the marketplace here for cannabis products. There's everything where it's just like the thing that it is plus weed, like frozen pizza with weed.
If I was gonna do some kind of snack that you could smoke out of and eat, and it's packaged, you know what it would have to be is like, and I'm just spitballing here, but you know, like some kind of cupcake with a edible bowl piece on it that's detachable, right? So meaning like if you had a cupcake mold that allowed for like a little like funnel, right? And then you stick a pipe into the cupcake as you bake it, right? Then you pull out that little whatever wire that you have in there, so you've got your airflow through your cupcake, right? And then you stick the weed in that little extra piece, right, that the mold had on it. You smoke out of it, right? And then you break off the piece that you smoked out of, boom. No ashes, no more tears, right? And then you just eat the fucking cupcake.
So, smokable cupcake mold, you feel like could be your legacy here in the world of cannabis consumer products?
Yeah, I mean, maybe not my legacy, because there's a bunch of shit. I'm about to release a bunch of weird shit, you know? That's like, you know, it's stuff. It's kind of random shit. That's all I'll say about it. But this is probably one of those things.
Amazing. So are there any kind of like behind the scenes bloopers? Like was there a moment this season when you guys were shooting? What's something that really sticks out in your mind?
From this season, well, it was a crazy, sort of like back-to-back shooting of episodes. It's always a really good time and sort of like, you know.
We chilled at the Bong Appétit house.
Yeah.
That was lamping. Kind of like a real world kind of vibe up in there, maybe. Yeah,
right. You got to see behind the scenes a little bit, and I mean, it is an interesting situation. You know, I live with Rye and with two of our producers, and you know, we shoot everything in the house, and then like, you know, we're in the field there. I mean, what stands out as like the best thing this last season?
Or the worst thing, or the most like weird thing.
The most weird thing. You know what happened actually at one point that was kind of fun is we were like all in the car. I think it was me and Rye and maybe Vanessa too. And we were driving back to the house and we were at a red light and this guy was like crossing the street in front of us, right? And this is something that's cool. I mean, it happens more and more as the show's gone on and like, you know, it's fun. I really try to take the opportunity to smoke with all my fans, right? So like that's, if anyone's like, oh shit, Bong Appétit, I love that show, I love your shit. If we have all dozen of you out there, I'm gonna smoke with all of you. I think I'm up to 6, right? But yeah, like if we have a second,
it's all about engagement rate nowadays.
Yeah,
there's 6 highly engaged. You're doing great.
Yeah, we're up to like 20 fucking viewers on the line, right? But like essentially, when I meet somebody who watches the show, if we have a second and we have some weed and we can, I'll be like, let's smoke real quick. You know what I mean? Because even if you could take 2 puffs and be like, so what's your story? You know, you get to like learn about a person. So as we were like, this guy's crossing the street, he like looks into the van and is like, holy shit, you know? He's like, oh my god, it's the fucking Bong Appétit squad. And he has no idea that he's like literally a block from the house, you know? So we like turned the corner and I was like, yo, go grab that guy and bring him to the house, right? So somebody jumped out and went and got him and like walked him over to the house. And the guy, you know, we brought him in and we like smoked him out and gave him dabs and stuff. And he was just having the most fucking surreal time.
That's so cool.
You know what I mean? And I loved watching it because he was just like, he was like, I just watched like your whole first season. And like, you know, because people binge it, you know, like if you start going and you have access to all of them, you're just going to watch all of them, right? It's like some consumable shit. Thank God people binge Bong Appétit. But like, you know, this guy had just done that, and it was just blowing his mind. You know what I mean? That now he's like standing there in the place where we make the show. He sees the weed pantry. All the hosts of the show are there. You know what I mean?
That was a magical moment.
Yeah,
Respect.
it was really cool.
That's a great story.
So shout to that guy. I feel like what we like are on each other on Instagram now or something.
On the street, Bong Appétit fan, dream come true.
Yeah, hopefully
dreams do come true.
Dream come true might be like something a lot more grand, but I can only provide dreams of my own caliber. So if someone's a huge pothead and that's what they want, hey man, run into me on the street because
to each their own dream. That's what I say.
Yeah,
let them dream.
Yeah, exactly.
So here's the part of the show where we get into something a little bit different. With the about that time theme, we've actually done your natal chart, your astrological chart. We're gonna read
my naval chart.
Your naval chart. We've charted your navel. We've done
you scanned the belly button,
mold. Totally. We're gonna read through some of these things. We're gonna ask you some questions. You're gonna tell me whether it feels accurate or not, and why not. Okay?
You know what? No.
I expect some.
What if I refuse? Huh?
Yeah. Well, what if I just refuse? These are gonna be some personal questions. I'm not gonna lie to you. Okay.
All right, cool.
First of all, for all the ladies out there, you should know this man is a Taurus with a Gemini rising and a Capricorn moon. What's
a Gemini rising?
Well, that your ascendant is Gemini. That was the position the moment you were born. The Gemini rising. It dictates the position of the planets in the houses.
Right,
So it's a good one. It's a very important one. It's kind of how you present yourself to the world, if you will. Gemini. This guy.
Right.
Have you ever dated a young woman or whatever that
whatever
that was interested in your astrological background?
I have, and that's why I should know a lot better. Because my friend Amber, who's on YouTube as The Quietest Revolution, does like really great readings and stuff. And I've watched a bunch of them, and she's told me about a bunch of them. But you know what?
We're gonna break it down.
I didn't know what a Gemini rising was.
People are gonna know.
You guys know.
People are gonna know more about your astrology now after this show than ever before. Okay, the first thing we're gonna talk about is this is one Venus in Taurus. Okay, ready? It says a weakness. There's a weakness here. Immoderate taste for pleasures of life, gambling, entertainment, and luxury. What do you think? Is that ringing true or not?
Is that a question?
No. Yeah. Do you?
Wait,
this aspect in your chart is saying that you have an immoderate taste for pleasures of life, gambling, entertainment, and luxury. Is that feeling accurate or inaccurate?
Inaccurate, because for me, gambling I completely don't understand it. I mean, meaning I enjoy playing poker with my friends and stuff, but the excitement that people get out of gambling, like the rush you get, haven't felt it. I don't think I will. I think it's probably for the better that I haven't. You know what I mean? Because, I feel like I've met more people who've lost money gambling than, won a shit ton of it. But at the same time, I mean, I don't know. And also in terms of, what I've realized, actually, as I've gotten older, is kind of the opposite, is that, I'm sort of a simple guy, and all I really need is, a good Thai place near me and some weed and an internet connection. You know what I mean?
Simple pleasure.
Really, what more do you need? I like sneakers, you know what I mean? But I don't
Maybe your only moderate taste would be sneakers and weed? Do you think you maybe?
Yeah, but, weed, people just give me weed. You know what I mean? I'm not, breaking the bank on weed.
There you go. Okay, so inaccurate. That's cool. I think that was a good answer.
You know what? False.
Right.
I refuse. That one gets an I refuse.
F. Venus in Taurus doesn't ring true. Okay, ready? Jupiter in Capricorn. He likes to direct and organize. Are you an organized guy, would you say?
Absolutely not. I am definitely... Actually, you know what? I've been trying to find an intern for the last little bit.
I just posted on my IG that you need an intern. Hopefully there's some clever person out there.
Well, you know what?
This is a nice guy. Any potential intern... You're going to enjoy hanging out with this guy. And his asks, he'll be interested. This guy lives an interesting life. You should help him out.
Yeah, I end up doing some cool stuff. And just because if you walk through life smiling and, just fucking bumbling like I do, you end up in some interesting places here and there. But, I've been trying to find an intern, and I'll tweet it out and be like, all right, I need an intern. Just feel it out. And people respond, but no one's actually, here and ready and willing to go. A couple of people have been like, I'm your guy, and I'll message them, and then they'll be like, I'm like, you really want to be an intern? Because let's do it, because I need someone to help me organize my shit a little bit on a micro level.
True.
But everyone's like, oh shit, no, I didn't know if it was for real. I live in, Alaska or whatever.
Right.
And I'm like, that doesn't help.
If you live in Alaska, come to LA and work for this guy.
Yeah, no, don't move here for me. Jesus.
Well, I don't know.
That's so much.
He's worth it.
You know, who is already here and kind of has spare time already, and you know, like that's what I'm looking for. I don't want anyone to uproot their life
Sure.
to come through here.
Come on.
Because, you know, I'm just going to buy you lunch and give you weed, you know what I mean? And like
that's a good deal, folks.
And get your Ubers.
People have done worse things for less.
Yeah. And in exchange, you know, yeah, like he said, I'm great to hang out with. I'm really fun.
That's true.
You hung out with me.
Approved.
You had a good time?
Approved.
Where we go last time? We went to that diner. What was it
we
called?
went to the 101 coffee shop. 101.
101 coffee shop.
101.
Spookies. I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, that was a good time. This guy was a great diner companion.
Yeah, we had a good time at a diner. I spent a lot of times in diners because I went to high school in New Jersey.
There you
for
go.
a little bit. A lot of diner life, a lot of experience with that stuff. You know, it's a hotbed for creative activity. You know what I'm saying?
I love it. Okay,
anyhow,
here's the next one. Mm-hmm. It's a little more personal. Pluto and Scorpio. Great sexual activity.
Yeah, definitely great sexual activity. That one actually brings true. I'm glad to say that, you know, Los Angeles is a hell of a place. Great Thai food. You know,
great Thai food.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. Great Thai food. Okay, Venus in the 12th house can be devoted to sick or impoverished people, likes animals, tranquility, peace, and solitude. What do you think about that?
Yeah, you know what? I came out to California seeking that sort of like, you know, quiet and peace and, you know what I'm saying? Like, kind of, the tranquility. I think tranquility is the best word because New York is the opposite of tranquil, right? It's like, you know, there's a constant bustle going on and you're always within like 10 feet of someone. You know what I mean? If you're sitting in your apartment, there's always someone right there and it's like, you know, there's a lot of noise and real, like, I think that, you know, real solitude, like, real, like, quiet and peace and, like, that kind of thing. I don't think you can really achieve that in New York unless you have a shit ton of money. You know what I mean?
True.
Because it's a hassle to get out of the city. You can't find that quiet in the city. And that type of shit's important to me. Maybe if I hadn't lived in a city for the last 15 years, I'd feel differently. But, I mean, I have. So, you know what I mean? Like, I need a second. Give me a fucking second.
Okay, ready?
Yeah. 7th
house is in Sagittarius. Marriage with a foreigner, marriage abroad, or marriage with a foreigner abroad. Foreign chicks? What's the story here?
What's that?
Foreign.
Did you just say marry abroad?
Marriage with a foreigner.
That term doesn't seem PC. No, can you say that?
Yes, I know. Yeah. I'm post PC.
We all.
What do you think? Foreign ladies? Are they getting some love from you, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, I guess that's always a thing. I definitely don't, just stick to dating people of one ethnic background or anything. You know what I mean? So definitely, like,
there's a lot of different kinds of ladies out there. They all should be regarded with their own respect.
Oh yeah, on the merits of their, personality.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay. This one is the conjunct of the Moon and Jupiter. He is a worker and knows how to surround himself with the right people. He is appreciated at work. Tell me about your team, buddy.
My team?
Yeah.
So wait, can we hear the quote again? Sorry.
Sure. He is a worker and knows how to surround himself with the right people. He's appreciated at work.
Yeah. I mean, that's an interesting thought of being appreciated at work, I guess, is a funny thing because it's like, when I started out doing, really just became exclusively like a weed journalist, a lot of people said I was crazy or weird for it, like I think following those same old stereotypes of cannabis stuff. But at the same time, like I'm sort of a weird guy anyway, you know what I mean? So
every moment.
Yeah. and you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that I a lot of times had to sort of trust myself or my own instincts, even when people were telling me I'm nuts. And, or like people, I can tell, like other journalists, for example, I remember I've had a number of experiences with other journalists who, like, throw shade at me for being a cannabis journalist because that's not like a serious issue, right? I think cannabis is an extremely serious issue. I think it's tied to, like, it's tied to the pharmaceutical crisis, it's tied to the war on drugs, it's tied to our economy, it's tied to so many things that, I think it's a very serious thing.
Tied to our culture.
Yeah, right? And, obviously we're all into cannabis, but, like, not everybody sees it that way. And honestly, in this, working in media, I've felt a little bit isolated at times, you know what I mean, for that reason. Like, thankfully, there's always been, like, a community of cannabis journalists. Like David Beanisag was like really like my weed mentor, you know, in some way. And like you know, there was always other people who felt you on that and were like, yeah, you know, like that's part of the game. And I think that in the last couple of years, the interesting thing is, you know, not only the audience but also the industry. Like as my stuff has, you know, gotten better and done better, people are taking me more seriously, you know. So it's like you end up finding people around you who are like-minded and that you work with. But I feel like it took a long time, so I'm really happy that, you know, it's like I'm starting to get like the kind of support now that I like always wanted, I guess. But you know, at the same time, still, I'm a solo artist in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? I mean, I work with a lot of different people, of course, like co-hosts and producers at Bong Appétit, the digital docs I do, whatever else. But I mean, that's a really long answer. But your question did make me think for a second.
There you go. That's what we do.
Yeah.
About That Time is not just about having laughs, guys. It's about making people think as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, add weed.
Okay,
one more from your chart.
My phone's gonna die.
Totally,
you guys
mine will
still
too.
with me?
Okay, he has a sense of duty, of self-esteem, and is prudent. Can concentrate on a long-term task, manual or intellectual. He perseveres and is serious in everything he does. You taking this to the top, bro?
Listening to that statement was a long-term task. I feel like
it's true. It's true. We get detailed here.
But yeah. So okay, well, what were the bullet points on
Let's
that
just say he perseveres and is serious in everything he does.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think life is a combination of being serious and having a sense of humor. You know, I'm definitely serious about the things I want to do. You know, I always say it. I find myself saying a lot these days, but I feel like it's good to state your underlying goal, you know, a lot of times and really believe it. But, you know, what I've done, I just want more people to smoke cannabis. I want more people to use cannabis. I think, you know, something I've talked about lately is like, you know, that in terms of, you know, people being enlightened or people waking up in some sense.
Yeah.
I think that cannabis is a good sort of conduit to that, right? I think that the more people smoke cannabis, the better place the world will be, the more enlightened people will be. And, you know, then also be open to things like psychedelics and, you know, like other...
so you're confirming it's a gateway drug then?
Well, it should be a gateway substance, first of all,
maybe a gateway medicine?
to other substances. And also, here's the thing, the words drug, medicine, recreational... they mean nothing. They've been invented over the last century. These compounds have existed since before we were people. All right? So you can't go around saying this is food, this is medicine, this is drugs, this is for fun, this is for not, this is for that. Because, I mean, ask somebody who's on Adderall if that's for fun. Ask somebody who does meth if that's for, you know, recreation or whatever the fuck else. They're doing kind of the same stuff. You know what I mean? Like, the substance is the same. Look at opiates and stuff. I think it's insane that we blindly just like follow, you know, the guidance of like the pharmaceutical industry on what we should be putting into our body. But what was the point I was making?
I don't know. We got a little sidetracked, but I said that, you know, you persevere. You're serious in everything you do. And
you know what? I think you have to be totally serious in like, you know, in your pursuit of the, you know, your actual goals. And like I said, my goal is to get, you know, the most people sort of turned on to cannabis in some way, you know, as I can. And, you know, that's what I persevere in. And also, but at the same time, you know, like, I think, you know, Terrence McKenna said this thing one time about how, like, the ultimate truth is not this serious, dramatic thing. It's funny. It's the kind of thing that would make you smile. You know what I mean?
That's a great quote.
Yeah, and you know, I think that's definitely not a direct quote, sort of a paraphrase, but you know, I think going
it's kind of a remix.
Yeah, you know, a little Abdullah remix. But you know, I think going through life, you know, sort of curious and questioning and smiling, and you know, like with that sort of openness is the only way to go. And it's the only way I can exist. And, you know, people have made fun of me for it. People have congratulated me for it. And now, I mean, the funniest thing to me is that I go on TV and I smoke weed and I eat a bunch of great food and live in this nice house. And then I walk around in LA and people stop me and thank me. You know, they're like, thank you for what you did for the culture. Which is so hilarious, you know. And I mean, it is, of course, like, you know, the whole idea of the show is that I'm projecting this sort of fantasy world that we're living in where there's just an abundance of weed and, you know, we're all having a good time and everything. and there's chefs, there's people, and everyone's enjoying cannabis freely and openly. And I'm really psyched that resonates with people and that they feel, that was very fastidious of you.
I am, I like to keep
lined up, like,
keep it organized.
What else we got on the charts there?
Well, I mean, we can dig deeper. If you want to go longer, I'm down to go longer. How many minutes are we at, guys?
30.
Okay, well, we're doing pretty good.
Yeah,
we're keeping it real.
All right. How many of you guys are enjoying this?
Yeah, seriously.
Instagram.
Facebook Live.
Instagram.
Are there any questions? Does anyone have a question? Should we take a question, Bill? Do we have anything on the Facebook?
Yeah. Let's see. What do we got? Is there? Oh, yeah. There's someone on IG, but yeah. What do you got?
You don't have to stay in that seat. You can see if anybody's asking.
I want to break frame though.
Yeah, that's cool. We shouldn't break frame. Here we go. Can you guys get us a question? Is there any way to get someone from the internet to ask us a question? Is there anything interesting that anyone's saying?
Anyone talking shit?
Luis, do you want to read off of Abdullah's phone really quick?
I'm on the live, so.
Oh, you're on Abdullah's live? Alright. Something from the people.
What's the purple box?
What is the purple box?
Weed.
Way to tie it back into the sponsors of the show. Thank you, THC Design. The purple box. We're smoking XJ13 from the good people at THC Design. Great question in the comments. That was not planted by any sponsor. There was no trolling. That was an authentic question. The people want to know. The purple box is THC Design. And that actually leads us to the next thing. You've done a lot of things with weed, Abdullah. I wanted to know, have you ever hugged a pound of weed?
I have, yeah. I've hugged many pounds of weed.
Really?
Have you seen my show?
Could you sleep like
There's
a pillow?
You know what? If it involves a photo op with me and weed in some form, I've done it 80 times.
You've never done it. You've never not done it.
I've definitely hugged. This is a full pound right here.
It's kind of cozy, don't you think? It's kind of like. Is that like a traditional type of
This is a gift. You know this is a gift, right?
I don't know about that.
I've been on 4 different platforms hugging this thing. This is my feed. Is this bag of weed? So thank you, Noah. Thank you to the guys at Mary Jane and the folks at THC Design. This is great. It'll go to good use.
That's like about 2 days, 3 days for you.
Yeah, this will go on in 6, 7 weeks. This is a week of weed,
That's good.
At the private Casa de Bong that I live at now.
Yeah, clandestine location.
Clandestine location, fortress of solitude, kind of literally in some ways. But in the middle of nowhere with some good buddies of mine. Cool. Yeah. So you want to do more bird stuff, or what's going?
No, I think that was the debut episode of It's About That Time. I mean, we hugged weed. We read your chart, we talked about your show, we kicked it, we rolled up some weed. I think that's kind of the synopsis. If you want to know what it is to be about that time, we just did it.
Yeah, you're right, dude. Well, congrats on your new show.
Thanks, buddy.
I'm glad I could help you.
Thank you so much for coming.
My mustache is managed.
Mustache debut. Very rare mustache debut. People of Mary Jane, people of Abdullah's Instagram.
Limited time only, yo. This mustache is not gonna last
through Halloween. We want to see a Halloween costume.
Yeah, that's right. Mustache. Okay, cool.
Just don't invite him to your Halloween party. He may forget completely spaced on it.
Yeah, that's right. I'm pretty bad about that stuff. But we should be the Beastie Boys in the Sabotage video. Me, Noah, and who's gonna be our third guy?
Pinsky.
Is it going to be Pinsky? Alright, yeah, Pinsky, you're definitely watching on 3 out of 4 of these platforms, aren't you? Yeah, you're doing it.
Beastie Boys and Sabotage.
Love the sweet taste.
Dilla called it. Beastie Boys and Sabotage. Look out for us. Halloween 2017 coming at you. I'll go with mustache too.
Yeah, take it all off. Everybody, do mustache.
You heard it here first. Alright, people of Mary Jane, thanks so much. It's about that time.
Peace.